The self-proclaimed dictator of Belarus has rattled his sabre many times in the past. He seems to do so whenever he is either preparing to ask for another loan from the Kremlin or when he wants to please Moscow before a crisis in the Union state. This time, he is using the Ukrainian attack on the Russian Kursk region to prove his loyalty to Putin. He is preparing an immigration crisis on the borders of Lithuania and Poland as a show of devotion. They imposed sanctions and stopped cooperating with us on the borders. Well, we said no thank you. There's no readmission agreement, we suspended it. They stopped building these centres for migrants. We told them we were not going to let migrants accumulate here, so the migrants went there in waves. And for them, for the European Union as a whole, this is a disaster. Where am I wrong? Lukashenko seems to be omitting a key detail. These migrants from the Middle East and Africa are not in Belarus by chance. They're not walking or swimming there. They're taking part in an organised operation. Operation Sluice. Tickets, organised flights from Baghdad, Damascus or Tripoli, visas in Moscow and Minsk, accommodation, and then transport to the Polish border. This has been going on continuously since the autumn of 2021. The narrative was that we have some sort of obligations regarding these migrants. It was part of a psychological operation by the Russian Federation. They were banking on that, to not only throw these people over our border, but to bind us with all these legal issues, formal humanitarian issues and so on. While the political scene in Poland now seems to be unified on the issue of the eastern border, this was not so obvious 3 years ago. Back then, politicians from the left-wing opposition organised protests at the border and insulted soldiers and border guards. Today, it is already clear that the United Right government was correct to speak of a hybrid war, both in terms of the methodical approach of the Minsk and Moscow regimes and the need to secure the border with a barrier. The current government's change of attitude is surprising. Well, it's good that it has changed, that we are, one might say, on the same side. But somehow, I find it hard to believe in the sincerity of it all. Migration pressure eased up a few months ago after President Andrzej Duda's visit to China. Poland has a bargaining chip that, if used, would send ripples through Beijing, the Silk Road. Chinese trains carrying billions of euros worth of goods to Europe must first pass through Polish territory. Poland is said to have threatened to close the crossings if Beijing did not bring Lukashenko into line. The fact that China has asked Lukashenko politely is true, as can be seen from this move, all the more so as the window of opportunity is closing. The smugglers say it's August, September, and then the window closes. By the same token, President Lukashenko's move is all the more puzzling as the Chinese Prime Minister is due to arrive in Belarus in the next few days. Our mutual political trust has been consolidated and cooperation on the Silk Road is yielding fruitful results. In this context, a signal from Poland warning once more against Lukashenko's threats would be very welcome. Kamil Chaska, TV Republika.